Hello and welcome back.
Welcome back.
To a rainy days episode.
Oh yeah, it's changed on us.
So last episode I started up a little story about Damien, Duke, and I deciding to be tourists in our own country for a day. So we got in Damien's car and we drove southward to what we call the Free Countries Point, and it's basically a point in the country where there was formerly the highest point in the country, and also, you know, the countries of the Netherlands, Germany, and Belgium connect.
Yeah,
there.
the
like
free country point.
There. Yeah. So we drove there, and we essentially on the way there we we were listening to music the whole way there. And we would just we basically sung our way to the border.
Which is what you do as a Dutchman going across the border.
If you're on a
violently singing.
If you're on a road trip as a Dutchman, it's obligatory to. Oh, by the way, you haven't unlocked anything yet by means of stores and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just driving around for the story.
They become available after a couple missions.
Yeah.
So, you know, because we were like, I was like, you know, I've never been, and this always happens, right? I have a plan. I'm like, hey man, Damien, how about you and I and we do something fun? I've never really been to Germany except to go to an IT museum, and I really wanna go. I wanna see Germany. I wanna visit Kaufland. You know, I wanna see
the big fuck off store.
Yeah, well, that too, but I just want to see Germany because it's you know, beautiful countryside, beautiful like landscapes. But by the end of it just became, we'll briefly go 5 minutes across the border to the
knew that was
gonna
happen.
Right? And that's usually what happens because, you know, when you're planning it with three people and two of them are are just like being a little tricky as to what they want to do because they're like, I don't know. And it's like, all right, well, you guys suggested this in the first place, so I mean, so we drove all the way southward, and you know, we hung out, and but there was this little fucking tower where you could get like a nice, beautiful view of the surroundings.
Yeah.
And it was $5 per person to enter.
What?
Quite expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
And Damien was like, oh, I'm not doing that, it's too expensive.
Just to walk a couple of...
And then I was like, well, I'm also not doing it. Not because it's too expensive, but because there's a fucking... The whole retirement center has this, like an entire retirement center's worth of old people. We're also there. Also, all waiting in line, patiently waiting to go up that tower. So we were like, nah, fuck that. So instead, we walked a little around through the woods. And then Duke lost the bet, and he had to touch grass with his bare feet. And
so that's what that was about.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
And then we were in the car, and we saw this slide, and you know, Damien and Duke both said different numbers, and then I and Damien said different numbers, and then Duke and I said the same number, but that meant that Duke had lost. Not sure why that was the case, but Duke lost, and he I still don't understand the rules of this whole fucking thing we were doing.
I never understand the rules of the game or of any game.
So basically, but Duke lost. So he had to get out, and he had to go take a ride on the slide.
That was hilarious.
That was that video I sent. And then on the way back, let me tell you about the way back. We'd start driving back. We're on the highway, and I'm like, man, I gotta piss. Hey, Damien, next stop. Can you the next gas station? Do you mind stopping so I can go take a piss? He's like, well, we were on our way to a city of Den Bosch to get what we called bossenbollen. I'm not gonna bother translating it. Don't know.
No,
so
it's not important.
we were on our way to get the local delicacy, but you know, we had to get. Damien knew a really good bakery where they're really nice, and they were. you know, they were gonna close at 6. He's like, all right, so when we get there, we'll only have 15 minutes to get to the bakery, right? He's like, so if we stop now to take a piss, we might not make it in time. Do you mind holding it in? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll hold it in. So I held it in for the next 45 minutes.
Thanks.
And we
Poor
finally,
bladder.
but I try to sleep through it, and Damien thinks it's funny to slam on the brakes random, because we were stuck in traffic for a second.
It's fucking annoying.
So that shook me awake and immediately pissed me off. Like because he did it the exact moment I fell asleep.
Oof.
There's nothing more aggravating
than waking up right when you fall asleep.
Yeah. Especially when you're violently shook awake like that. So we get to the city, and it's a pain in the ass to find a place to park. And it's raining out, and I have to piss, and it's fucking annoying. I didn't get the fucking sleep, because, it's fucking bullshit. And then I get it, and then it's like, alright, fuck it, I'm getting out. He's like, oh, by the way, when you get to the bakery, call me, because I also want to order some for my family or whatever. And at this point,
groceries for the man.
At this point, I'm like, no, I'm not your errand boy. I gotta piss. I don't have time. I gotta piss. Like, I gotta piss really badly. All right, I held it in just for you, so you don't get to make those kinds of unreasonable demands. I won't stand for it. So what ends up happening is we get to the bakery. It's 10 minutes before they close. I'm like, give me 3 Bossenbollen, right? One for me, one for Damien, one for Duke.
Yeah.
I pay for them, right? Duke's like, don't we have to call Damien? I'm like, you can call Damien, but I'm going to go find some place to take a piss. He's like, can't you piss here? I'm like, no, I can't. Watch this. Excuse me, madam. Could I use the restroom? No, it's closed. Okay. Alright, so... like,
duh.
People always forget that I'm excruciatingly intelligent, and I always know what the situation is, and how it's gonna go.
Before
I always
closing, nobody goes to take a piss at a store.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, and I leave the store, and Duke's like, are you sure we shouldn't call Damon? I was like, look, I'm not his errand boy, and he knows I have to piss like a racehorse. I'm not gonna take my time to have a pleasant phone call conversation about how he wants to get his family a little gift. If he wanted to get his family a little gift,
do it yourself.
Then he should have fucking gotten out of his car and fucking joined us.
Yeah, that's the part that annoys me. Why is he not getting out of the car?
Oh, because it's paid parking, and he's afraid of getting a parking ticket, and he's also afraid of paying for parking.
Yeah, I've noticed that about him. He does not like paying for parking.
And he also will not park illegally either, because he's deadly afraid that the moment he gets out of his car, an entire SWAT team arrives to give him a parking ticket. Dude, remember when we went to Amsterdam?
Oh,
right?
that was
we had
the
to
worst.
wait 20 minutes outside of his car, just sort of waiting until it was exactly 8 p.m. so that we could get fucking moving without him being... Dude, at one point it was 58, and we're like, dude,
we're getting late.
Like, come on, let's go. And he's like, no, because the cops can still come. No, they won't.
They won't. And if they will,
look around.
Fuck
if
off.
you do not see a cop car this very instant, then that means that the cops will not come.
What a fucking idiot.
So I walk out of the bakery. I go towards the train station, right? Because we're close to the train station. I get to the train station. The toilet is closed due to maintenance. Okay, whatever, no problem. I see a little restaurant over there. I walk into the restaurant. Excuse me, sir. Do you mind if I use the restroom? No, we don't. We only allow paying customers to use toilets. Okay, fair enough.
Here's 50 cents, please.
I'm like, if I order a drink, will that be okay? No. Okay, I'll leave. So I go next door to the bar, and at this point, I've resolved myself to show whoever says no to me my penis. And they will get a good spray, alright? Because I've got enough pressure build up to like beam the fucking paint off the walls, bro. I could strip paint with that shit at this point.
Got a rusty car? Let me piss on it.
So what happens is I walk into this pub, and I'm like, excuse me, sir, would you mind if I use your restroom real quick? Because I have to pee quite badly. And he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I finally took my piss, right? I walk out back into the streaming rain, And I'm like, right, now to find Damien and Duke. Right, Duke had already figured it out with Damien, like what pastries he wanted for his family. And you know, they call me and I'm like, where you at? I was like, well, I had to do a big trek to find someone who was willing to let me piss. And I'm currently at the train station. He's like, and they were like, oh yeah, right. You know, we're back where we were at earlier. I was like, what? Do you mean that?
Pastry shop.
Do you mean that pastry shop? And they're like, no, but where we got dropped off, he's still just standing there with his car. Like, what if he could have gone out of? All right, whatever, dude. I'm on my way. So I go there, fucking raining as shit, raining as fuck. I really want to smoke, but I know, right? I know what's gonna happen. If I go have a smoke before I get in the car, they're gonna be bitching and moaning. Why are you standing there in the rain like a weirdo? Why are you standing in the rain having a smoke? Can't you have a smoke later? No.
No, I need it now.
Right, but whatever, concession, right? So I get in the car, you know, not having a smoke, and I'm like, right. So I really want to smoke. Do you get? It's like, where are we gonna stop?
Yeah.
Then he's like, you can wait with smoking, right? We're gonna be dropping off. Duke will be there in like 20 minutes, and then we're going to your place. It's another 20 minutes. It'll be alright. And so we're at Duke, and at this point it's raining pretty hard, so I can't really go out smoking because my cigarette will just fucking get soaked.
Wet. Yeah. Which is the worst.
And I was so pissed off by the end of it. I was just so annoyed. And all of that simply because I could not be, because I was holding in my piss for too long. That's the only thing that pissed me off. That pissed me off. That's the only reason I was so pissed off. Is because I was pissed because I had to piss and no one would let me.
Mate, I cannot even drive when I have to piss. I was
so ready to whip it out and piss against your bar. You would not believe how I had unbuckled my belt before I walked in.
Damn.
Like I was ready to just get arrested. I didn't mind because I had to piss, and I'm not gonna fucking publicly humiliate myself by pissing my pants because that's
even worse.
That's uncomfortable.
You gotta sit in it.
Yeah. If I'm gonna have to publicly humiliate myself one way, I'm gonna do it in the way that inconveniences me the least.
Exactly. Oh, man. All this pissed off.
And all of this because I wanted to go to Kaufland to get some Monster Rehab because I've always been told, like, oh yeah, they have that there. They always have that there, right? They always have that there. And I go there for one time I go there, they ain't got shit.
Well,
got a bunch of booze instead.
The thing that annoys me the most is that
booze.
After all this piss talk, I gotta piss, and then next time I'll tell you what annoys me about this story the most. So,
alright.
See you guys next time.
Next time on Jazzgrass. Okay, why can't you keep it in like I did? No, just kidding.
See you.